Hello everyone, Sally here, and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Today we're going to be covering a lot of different betas on the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. There is seriously something here for every single type of player. They've implemented everything from ray tracing, RTX, caves and cliff features, goats, Snowier Snow, loads of bug fixes, parody features, and literally so much more. We're going to be covering 6 betas in today's video, so hopefully you enjoy. Mojang has released 6 betas for the Bedrock Edition in the recent weeks, although we don't have many caves and cliffs features. As of now, we mostly have the goats and Snowier Snow, which are fun on their own, but we've yet to see real proper caves and cliff features added to these Bedrock Edition betas. If you want to know when we get those features and what features are included, then consider subscribing to the channel. I cover every single Bedrock Edition beta, all the features, bugs, and bug fixes included in them, so if you subscribe, you'll stay up to date and basically know everything that there is to know. Oh, and by the way, I will be doing an episode on 1.16.100 and all of the many bugs that are in that. However, that's coming in a little while, and if you have any bugs that you found in that update, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to include it in the next episode of Bugrock. So first up, we have beta 1.16.200.52. This is one of the most interesting betas released recently, as it includes caves and cliff features like the goats and Snowier Snow. It also has a bunch of other really nice bug fixes that have been needed for a long time, and a real quick note, if you are playing in the betas, you need to turn on experimental mode for the caves and cliffs as well. Starting off with goats, here we have an adult and a baby, and as per tradition, the babies are extremely cute. Look at him, he's kind of shaggy, he's got a little goatee, and overall just absolutely adorable. The adults are basically just a large sheep with horns, but they're still super cute as well. For the time being, these guys will spawn in the extreme hills biomes, which are these biomes right here. This will change in the future once Mojang adds a new place for them to live. Goats really love to jump. As you can see, that guy right there jumped super high, so they can actually jump over a 3-block tall barrier. If there's a 4 tall barrier, then they don't even try to jump over that from my testing. So basically, they can jump like 3 blocks. It kind of seems like they go a little bit higher, but they don't try to jump over 4 tall things as of now. So if you're going to try and contain these things, really put a giant wall around them. And another thing to note is that they actually take reduced fall damage, so they can fall extra far and take less damage than normal, which is a cool little mechanic. And these guys actually love to breed as well. You can use wheat with them, and I just got 3 babies from one breed. Yeah, so they really love to make more goats. This is a very bad idea. These guys are actually extremely mischievous, and they will bump you and like ram into you and do significant knockback as well. So if you're sharing like a cliffside like that place up there with a goat, you want to knock that goat off before they knock you off. They can toss you up pretty far. Dude, you can jump super tall. How many blocks is that? 4, 5, 6? You can jump 6 blocks high. Okay, that's fun. Whenever goats ram into a tree, they'll actually drop a goat horn as an item. I've been trying to get this to happen for a while now, but it doesn't appear to be happening. I've actually only seen them ram like once, so maybe it's kind of rare. I don't know. They don't seem particularly hostile even if you attack them. They just kind of panic and run away. Maybe perhaps the feature's mildly broken. I don't really know. Maybe I'm just dumb, which is also a very high likability. So one thing that you can do with the goat horn is actually use it. So if you hold down right click, then it'll make a very loud noise, and supposedly this starts a raid party nearby, so I want to go to a village and actually test this out. Now, it doesn't appear that this has a durability bar, so you can basically use this thing forever, as long as you like, and it doesn't appear to have any crafting recipe as of now either. Found myself a village, let's blow the horn, and doesn't really appear to do anything at the moment. If this had the ability to start a raid, that would be extremely useful and open up a ton of different possibilities for raid farms, of course, and basically really efficient raid farms, because you can just hold down this button forever and just keep blowing the horn. Okay, maybe don't do that because you might go deaf, but you can still do it if you feel like it. Moving on from goats, we finally have Snowier Snow. What is Snowier Snow? Well, it's sitting right here before you, and you might not be able to tell which one is which. One of these is a snow block, one of them is a Snowier Snow, or powder snow, and this one is actually the powder snow. So the regular snow block you can stand on, it's just like a regular old block, just like grass or something, and the powder snow is kind of like a cobweb. If you walk through it, you get slowed down a little bit. If you try and stand on it, then you fall down into it, as you can see, but unlike cobwebs, you can actually like go back up through it, which is kind of nice. Now, the idea behind this is kind of like a snow trap, so if you're walking along on some solid snow or just some snowy ground, you can fall into these powdered snows, sink down, and then you get this really cool effect around the edge of the screen with the snowy particles, and also you get some white fog as well to make it much more difficult to see what you're doing. Honestly, a really, really cool effect. Another nice detail is that Snowier Snow is actually kind of light at nighttime when you're standing inside of it. So as you can see, totally dark out, but when we go inside the snow, there is a little bit of light. You can actually see what's happening. And to further demonstrate that, here is an extremely dark hole. If we fall down into the Snowier Snow, it is still very light and we can still see pretty much everything. As of right now, Snowier Snow is only available from the creative inventory. It does not generate in the world, and you cannot craft it either. This update also fixes one of the major exploits with piglin bartering. So now if you dispense one piece of gold or drop one piece of gold between a whole bunch of piglins, only one of the piglins will pick it up and barter with you. So if we go ahead and give them some gold, as you can see, only one of them is actually going to be throwing out items. This is a good change. It was a very, very overpowered bug, but as you can see, we can still force them to barter quickly, so they haven't fixed all the bugs that there is with piglins. Now, the changelogs mention that mobs will no longer spawn inside of wither roses. However, magma cubes definitely still spawn inside of wither roses, so that's interesting. However, they don't really take the wither damage. As you can see, they don't get any prolonged effects. They only take damage while they're actually standing in them. So not particularly useful for farms. It's definitely going to hurt the efficiency of some things, and it should be fixed. For the record, only wither skeletons should be able to spawn in wither roses because they're actually immune to the effects, of course, because withers don't take wither damage. Now, another fun fact, these guys used to take wither damage a few updates ago, but they finally fixed that bug, so that's cool. And there's another bug, wither skeletons don't walk through wither roses. I'm assuming they share the same pathfinding code as skeletons do. There's actually several other bugs that back up that little hypothesis. So as you can see, they don't walk through wither roses. These guys stay perfectly still, even though they are immune to this type of damage. As you can see, the piglin brute won't walk through them because he knows that he's going to take damage. However, these guys should walk through them absolutely no issues at all. A very nice fix for beehives has been introduced. Bees will now only be able to exit the hive or the nest from the front. I believe that this is the final bug fix for beehives and nests. These things now work in all dimensions. The texture is the right way around. Previously, the front was on the back and the back was on the front. It's very confusing, but I believe this is the final bug fix that they needed. So if we put a block, pretty much any block, in front of the beehive or nest and make it daytime, we'll see that none of the bees actually escape the hive, which is a very, very nice thing. We can go ahead and break that glass, and then all of the bees will pop out basically instantly. Now, they can still enter the hive from any direction, so if we put it back to nighttime, you'll see that they go back in there, but they can only exit via the front. We also have a really, really massive change for builders and those of us who love to play on mushroom islands. So now you can go ahead and till anything that is dirt related with a shovel and turn it into a grass path. Now these things have actually been renamed to dirt paths, so that's fine, I guess. So grass can of course be shoveled, so can coarse dirt, podzol, mycelium, and of course regular dirt. This is a very, very convenient thing because previously it was only grass that could be turned into these paths, which was extremely annoying, but now you can actually use it just about anything. For those of you who want to convert a mushroom island, this is going to be really convenient as well. Run around the whole place, you know, use a shovel on them, and then maybe go back through, place some blocks on top of that to convert it into dirt. I don't know, might be kind of helpful. Netherite leggings have also gotten their proper texture now as well. So if you look at the top of the leggings, right around the waist areas, you'll see that it has a proper texture. This was missing both on Java Edition and on Bedrock Edition, but now it's been fixed on both platforms. Moving on to beta 1.16.200.53, we have a very nice change to the audio tab. This is something that's technically been in the game for a long time, but locked behind developer mode. Don't ask how I know that. And if you actually do this from the main menu, it'll play all the sounds for you. So for example, we got the main sounds. We have music. There is just normal sound in general. And then of course we got ambient environment, which is all your cave sounds and stuff like that. Normal blocks, placing and breaking. Hostile creatures is everything that's hostile to you. Friendly creatures is everything that's friendly and passive. Players is eating and footsteps, etc. Jukebox and note blocks is self-explanatory. And weather is weather. This is a very nice thing. We've seriously needed this on the Bedrock Edition for the longest time. All we ever had before was music and sound. That was all we got. That was literally it. So this is a massive upgrade to the sound system of a Bedrock Edition. If you hate your hostile creatures at your mob farm or your raid farm, churn that down to 0 and you won't hear them literally at all. This is the biggest change we've ever had to sound, and I cannot express this enough. Massive update. I really love it. There's also a pretty small thing in this update called ray tracing. And here we are on my laptop using Silent 2 to experience full ray tracing without even having to jump into the ray tracing beta. This is very exciting news. This means that likely next update, we will have implemented ray tracing, as long as there's no massive bugs. Now, I am on a laptop, so if there's any frame dips or anything, just blame it on that. Although it's a very good laptop, so it should be fine. But yeah, obviously, it's ray tracing. You guys have already seen plenty of this on the internet from everybody that was sponsored by NVIDIA, and basically, it is just absolutely beautiful, full ray tracing in Bedrock Edition. Really exciting stuff, really beautiful shader packs, and overall just amazingness, beautifulness, and much lighting sparklies. So if I can ever manage to get my hands on a RTX 3080 or similar, then I'll definitely be making more ray tracing videos and content on the channel, and definitely just be like enjoying the ray tracing in general. But right now I gotta switch over to my laptop to use the ray tracing. Kind of a hassle. I'm not really set up to do that like quickly and easily. And then of course, you know, the microphone is on the PC, so I gotta like run two recording softwares. Is not necessarily a good situation, but hopefully sometime in January or February, they'll finally be back in stock and you guys will see more RTX things on the channel. Moving over to beta 1.16.200.51, there's been a few small updates to the death messages on Bedrock Edition. Basically a whole bunch of inconsistency with like the arrow being the thing to kill you instead of the skeleton that shot the arrow. So now all of those things have been updated, which is nice and consistent. And also they've changed a little bit with how raids spawn. So now they can spawn further away, and they also have a better chance of spawning as well. So if you've ever spawned a raid in a village or a raid farm and it failed to spawn, that is now less likely to happen with this little change. And moving over to beta 1.16.200.55, there isn't much in this beta either, but there are a couple of good things to mention. First of all, they fixed a bug where pillagers and other various illagers would be scared of sunlight. Basically like an undead mob, they would try to seek the shade, that way they wouldn't burn in the sun. done. That, of course, no longer happens. There's also been a bug fix to increase and fix the amount of vertical knockback. So the best way to demonstrate this is, of course, an iron golem. So as you can see, these guys now get properly whacked way up into the air, and that was not happening in previous updates. So that's good to see. There was also a couple other issues with RTX. So if you were flying around quickly in the world with RTX, then it would stutter and have poor frame rate and otherwise be a total hot mess. And that has also been fixed as well, which is a very good thing. And the last thing added to this beta is a little pop-up screen that shows up right when you start the game, notifying you if your graphics drivers are out of date. This allows you to get the best performance out of RTX and other various graphical things, and also just make sure that you are fully up to date. If you don't update your graphics, then some certain aspects of RTX won't look as good or just may not work, so this is a very good little notification to have at the start of the game. Moving over to beta 1.16.200.56, there's a very sad change for me in here. Basalt can no longer be destroyed by ghast fireballs. So if we place some of that down, it's never going to get broken by the ghasts. So if you are a very, very small percentage of people that have a ghast blaster hooked up to a basalt farm, use that as much as you possibly can before this update releases, because it's not going to work after this update. Basalt will also be slower to mine in this update as well. So basically, if you want to farm basalt, do it before this update comes out. It's going to be a lot more efficient before this update and a lot more painful after this update. Also, speaking of explosions, dragon eggs will always drop as an item when blown up, so that is a nice thing. Yeah, there you go. As you can see, we get dragon eggs, so you are now less likely to have this thing be destroyed in your world. And the final beta is 1.16.200.57. The only real thing of note in this one is improved terrain building speed when flying with your elytra. And as you can see, even though I'm not facing the chunks, everything is loading in very, very quickly. This is on 80 chunk render distance as well, so basically pushing the computer to the maximum. And if we face the chunks, you can see that everything loads extremely quickly as well. We need more optimization in this area of the game, and it's good to see it getting a little bit of lovin'. Otherwise, that's pretty much everything you need to know from the previous 6 betas on the Bedrock Edition. Let me know your thoughts about all of these features, parity changes, caves and cliffs updates in RTX. I'm very curious to know what you think about absolutely everything, so let me know your thoughts down below. Also, tell me what bugs you found in 1.16.100, the current Bedrock Edition release, and I'll put those into a video very, very soon for you as well. Otherwise, that's going to do it for today's episode of Bugrock. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you have, then make sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you are new here, then consider subscribing so you don't miss future episodes. And otherwise, I'll see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.